DEVA now uses the new area code 858.
People look at the yellow pages, they see our ad, they call us, they get a recording.
Please dial 1 or 0.
They hang up before the recording's finished.
Those problems and more were discussed today at a public hearing, along with a proposal to add 2 new area codes for San Diego County.
My understanding is, that they can take your number, like my old number, which is a 619 number, and sell it. Well, I'd rather keep it. The council should know that in 2.5 weeks, I have had over 5,000 responses.
I have also spoken at length with a citizen, a voter, a consumer advocate in San Diego who is here today, Bob Kuczewski, who I have a great deal of respect for, and you'll be hearing from him shortly. I know that the mayor has had contact with Mr. Kuczewski, and my staff has, and I look forward to hearing from him today. He has also had petitions before the Utilities Commission on this very issue.
Face the realities of having to dial 858. But unfortunately, this had been going on for 6 months, and in spite of Mr. Kuczewski's and others' efforts to reverse course, the CPUC declined to do so. The reaction to the 619 area code split was, we can thank Mr. Kuczewski that he argued the position vociferously at the commission. Unfortunately, they didn't decide to reverse course on the 858. It was mostly a timing issue, and they did so with in the other jurisdictions in California. Number one, because they were overlays, which CPUC is not fond of. The CPUC as well as the FCC are very concerned about customer confusion, the dialing disparity, and the anti-competitive impacts on new telecom companies coming into the area when you use things like service-specific overlays or 7-digit overlays. That was the primary basis of their rejection of Mr. Kuczewski's preference for a 7-digit overlay. In that decision, the good news was they requested comments on deferring on 935.
I'm going to call on Bob Kuczewski. You want to come forward first, and I know I'm going to have some other questions for you, Bob. I want to thank you for your tenacity and the fact that when you do write, I mean, it's well argued and informative. And therefore, got my attention. And
thank you.
Even though we had acted, you please feel free to comment briefly, and then I'll have other questions. Okay.
Okay. Is this a 2-minute?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a challenge.
I am Bob Kuczewski from La Jolla. Unfortunately, I cannot offer a complete argument on this complex topic and support it properly in 2 minutes. So instead, I will list 10 statements, and I respectfully ask that you either accept them as fact or give me an opportunity to defend them. Please write down the number of any statement that you question, and I will be happy to answer it fully after my 2-minute period. But please do not vote on this important issue until you're absolutely certain that you fully understand the impact and ramifications of each and every statement that I'm about to make. 1, it is still possible to reverse the ill effects of the 858 split without harming anyone who has already switched to the new code. 2, infrequent splits of large areas involving local economies made sense in the past, but frequent splits of small areas in a global economy do not make sense in the present. 3, a new 7-digit overlay solution is now available, which did not exist when the 619 split was originally decided. This new 7-digit overlay is a better solution for everyone in 619, 935, 858, and the rest of the nation. Overlays have only been unpopular because of this artificial 11-digit dialing requirement, but a 7-digit overlay causes absolutely no disruption to any customers. That's very important to remember. 5, in the future, I believe all area code relief will be done with 7-digit overlays. New York City has already implemented 7-digit overlays in 1999, and I predict they will keep them. We can join with New York City to obtain this better solution for San Diego and help lead the nation toward area code stability. 7, please do not stop the 935 split by using numbers that you allowed to be taken from the 858 region. It is simply wrong to take phone numbers from one group of people only to give them to another. 8, the final area code map of San Diego will be your legacy on this matter. Please don't let it reflect an insensitivity to any of your constituents. 9, we can be one of the first cities to embrace a better solution or one of the last to cling to these disruptive splits. 10. On January 13th, I filed a petition with the CPUC to extend permissive dialing in 858. Please amend R 2000-843 to include comments in support of that petition. If the San Diego City Council won't speak for San Diego, then who will?
You have the power to effect a rollback of the recent area code split. Please use it. Thank you.
Mr. Kuczewski has a good point. Why change many people's numbers in a given area when you could give new subscribers new numbers? Mr. Kuczewski's plan to keep our current numbers and continue the use of the 7-digit system is a good one. I urge your support for Mr. Kuczewski's stand on this issue.
Hi, I'm Phil Blair, representing business here in San Diego. I would encourage you to do whatever you can to keep as few of area codes in San Diego County as you possibly can from a business point of view.
My name is Jody Beebe. I work with UCAN, the Utility Consumers Action Network. I want to talk to you, I guess, in a little bit more detail about what's been going on. Somebody had, I think, an aunt from Philadelphia call back here to San Diego using the 858 number, and guess what? It didn't go through. So we see that there's a problem going on with the entire infrastructure nationwide. Who the heck wants 2 different area codes going into their home? Nobody. Who gets the competitive advantage? The person who owns the 619 numbers. That's my point there.
With the permissive dialing, as Mr. Kuczewski has pointed out in his petition, especially the one of January of 2000, the permissive dialing disrupts nothing.
According to the North American Plan Administrators, and those are the folks that hand out the numbers essentially, in any one area code, there should be 7.8 million numbers available for folks to use.
Let me just make a couple of quick points. The first being, much of what Mr. Kuczewski has said is accurate, and we also applaud him for the work he has done.
Yeah, you can continue for a while, but then we're going to switch around.
Yeah, but
so I want to give Bob Kuczewski a chance.
Okay,
to
I know.
Some folks have suggested that the permissive dialing period could be returned in 858. And let me explain. Technologically, yes, that is a true statement. You could technologically roll back 858.
Hold on one second. Bob, I want you to debate that
And that's
right
fine.
now.
Come on up. And may I finish? May I finish my whole
Can I just
little...
make that one point?
Yeah, just that one point, that there's no guarantee.
You're saying I could not get my number back.
I'm saying
Why not?
No, I'm saying there's no guarantee.
Why not?
Why not? Where's
Well,
it gone? Has anybody used it
I
yet?
was going to answer
Okay,
it.
go
You
ahead.
didn't give me a chance to tell you.
That
There
I
are two
requested him to
reasons
come up
why
here. Ma'am, I requested him to come up here because I wanted to hear his response.
question.
And as long as I'm chairing the meeting, I have a right to do that.
I apologize.
That's okay. Go ahead.
My response is there are 2 reasons why we cannot guarantee that the customer will be able to get their number back. The first is a technological one, because we have now opened the 858 area code and given somebody a number out of a switch that they're being served from. There is no guarantee that the 619 prefix will continue to necessarily be served out of that same switch, number one.
But could
Why do you,
make that
you don't need it, ma'am. But you don't need it.
Could I finish?
One statement. I believe, I'm an engineer, and I believe there's nothing that we can do in engineering that we cannot undo. I think that resolves it. Now, she may say it might be a little bit more difficult because of what may have transpired and how they actually implemented the split, but I guarantee you that if they
But
could
might
take those
not,
numbers
but Bob,
away,
might not
they could put
somebody
them back.
already have that number?
No, no one else has that number at this point.
Wait a
in time.
minute.
You know how I know no one else has it? Because when you call my 619 number, you get a message. And that guarantees you that no one else has my number. Right. Because otherwise, you'd be getting them and not my message. So until
So
March
you mean you're
11th,
just talking about your number?
I'm talking about any number that has been in use. Any number that has been in use that anyone in 619 has owned.
It's a whole thing.
Cannot have been given out. Cannot have been given out because
Okay.
that message is still being played.
Okay, I'm going to call, excuse me, please, I'm still chairing the meeting. Mr. Gwinn says that they're both right. I'd like to hear what Mr. Gwinn has to say.
Just to try to find the common thread here, once they've gone to mandatory dialing of 858, now they've taken the 619 numbers essentially for that period of time out of circulation. Mr. Kuczewski is right in the sense that those numbers are not currently assigned. There are all kinds of technical issues. There are all kinds of arguments. But Mr.
Pat
Kuczewski
Bell
is
may
right.
not
They're
be
not
able to
being used.
guarantee
Pat
it.
Bell is right.
He can
They
ask
can't
for it.
guarantee it because they don't have control of those
I
numbers.
understand that, but the numbers administrators can.
Right. Mr. Kuczewski, can you come forward? The one that has been brought up the most is if we reverse it and go back, will not that harm people that have already made those changes? I'm not talking about continuing or having the permissive phase back, but if you reverse it, and you made the statement early on that it won't cause any harm.
Well, the only way that it won't cause any harm is if you extend the permissive dialing indefinitely.
All right,
If
as
you
long as
really
we're
do
clear on
force
that,
people
that's
to
what I
go
thought.
back, that's not fair.
Yeah.
And extending permissive dialing indefinitely is what I would advocate at this point in time.
Okay. And I think you made the position on the 7-digit overlay pretty clear. I mean, I think we would all prefer that.
Mayor Golding, as the Pac Bell representative and Mr. Kuczewski are standing here, let's just clarify what the options are and how they work. If you have a 7-digit overlay, let's make sure we all agree on this. If you have a 7-digit overlay in San Diego in the 619, what it in essence would mean is that everybody that has 619 could keep it. You'd basically have everybody dialing 7 digits within the 619 framework.
First, do no harm.
Right, well, that would be good. That would be good. That should be the first one. But there's a slight difference, Bob, between what you're recommending and what we have before us, and I want to reconcile those.
I don't think that we are in a position yet to take a position on the underlying issue long-term that Mr. Kuczewski is raising about permissive dialing in 858. However, I do believe that you should direct us to contact the PUC and fully understand how the number administrator is planning to deal with these 619 numbers, because I would like to advocate that we not see those numbers assigned until we fully understand what's going on, so that we haven't closed the door to the issue of permissive dialing in 858
Casey,
at this moment in time.
Well, I feel very strongly that we ought to ask for permissive dialing to be returned. And let me give you my primary reason for it. If it's technologically feasible, which we all agree it is, although difficult, I think we ought to be advocating it for the simple reason that it is not clear to the consumer what the area code boundaries are. It is terribly confusing. You know, if we lose, we lose. But we tried once before. I wrote them and asked them to continue the permissive. They refused. I think we ought to go back to them and say, okay, you've made a mess of it now. At least you ought to continue the two area codes until you straighten it out and unmake the mess.
I'll make the motion, Your Honor.
Second.
We move one to oppose area code 935, advocate the completion of the number audit, contact the PUC administrator regarding how the numbers will be administered, and then the mayor's support the permissive dialing.
And that means joining the petition.
That would be my motion.
Bob, do you have any, in addition, do you have anything else other than what Mr. Stevens has included in his motion that you think is important to add?
The only thing that I'd like to ask is to make sure.
Go ahead, Bob.
The only thing I'd like to ask is to make sure that whatever action the council takes that they feel is appropriate to preserve 935, that they consider taking the same action for 858. Any action you take to save pain for people in 935, whether that's asking for more studies to be done, asking for reports on allocation, if it means giving them a 7-digit overlay. All I ask is that anything you think about doing for 935, you also think about doing for 858, because it's not fair to us to be improperly represented just because we happen to have gone first in this mess.
That's where the audit comes in. 858.
Okay, but
that's where
you need to, in your motion, you're including
certainly
858 as well as 619.
Yes, that we do the same thing for other area codes, which would be 858 as we're doing for 935. That's
correct.
Easy.
And will you leave it, will the council leave it to my discretion, knowing how strongly I feel about this after conversations with the PUC and Joe Nieper on the permissive continuance? Because I want it. I mean, I'm going to have to really be convinced. George, will you include that in your motion that we make that city make that request?
Yes.
Any other, Judy? No? Okay. Would you cast your vote?